Okay, hello Kingdom, it's me Spot the King, and welcome to Wuchang Fallen Feathers 7 huge combat mistakes. Yeah, I see lots of players doing those because the game even never tell us what and how we can do for some reason. These mistakes will be universal for any weapon, basically it will work for any build, any playstyle, whatever. First one, how often do you see enemy or boss standing far away, maybe they running away from you, not like these mobs who trying to dash at me while I having this super OP sword, and you trying to close the distance, for example, like to this bro, and you're doing like this dash and then run, or maybe like triple dash, and stop doing this, please. Basically, there's loads of cool combinations in this game, and basic combination of 5 hits will waste all the stamina. So even single dash will prevent us from making full combination. And if you're dashing 3 times before reaching boss, then you just can't do full combination. To prevent it, basically, you don't need to press dash button to go forward and run. Actually, you can press confirmation button, this button that you see on the screen right now, you just hold it and your character starts to run. Yeah, you can run by holding this button. So you close the distance, you always will have full stamina and can make full combinations, rotations, or even use dash to then back away. That's a smart way to do it. Yo, woo, you should be from China, not from India. Anyway, the second mistake is of course also tied with dodges. Basically, combat in this game is extremely simple. You don't have any like jumping and other stuff, so you don't need to think about verticality, you're just playing horizontal combat. And the second mistake is trying to time your dodge perfectly. So most of people think that when you're trying to dodge perfectly, right when you got hit, you're gaining this resource, basically magic in this game. Yeah, there's no mana, there's this feathers, and you gain feathers when you're doing perfect dodge. At least that's how it's stated in the game. However, in reality, you don't need to time these dodges perfectly. Basically, what you need to do is to just dodge, and you can just spam dodges, and yeah, you can basically avoid attacks like this on all stamina lost. If it's not crazy boss with insane amount of like attacks per second, like crazy lady for example, you will probably evade attacks or even get some resources by just spamming button. Yeah, don't spam too much, again you will lose all your stamina, but you don't need to time dodges perfectly. And there is one big reason for it, it's not roll. So when you're rolling, you actually getting speed burst at the beginning of the roll, then you're getting invincibility frames when you're basically invincible, but then you're becoming a little bit slow. So for example, in Elden Ring you will become slow after rolling and you may actually take damage. However, in this game there is no slowdown and you can basically spam rolls, dashes as much as you wish, even when you don't have any stamina. But also here's a little trick to become really good. So when you're dodging backwards like this, you actually have this like micro little bit of slow down time. Just look over here. So we're dodging and then she kind of stops. Makes sense, she jumping backwards. But if you try to dodge without locking on your characters, then you will jump and basically roll backwards. It's the way how you can break distance with bosses, with enemies. So when you're trying to run away, just remove lock on and run away like this. First of all, it's far more distance covered. Basically, let's try from the stairs. That's 3 normal dodges to the back and we landed like on this pile, he will mark where we landed. But if you do it without lock on, it's like, oh come on, it's double the distance. And that's definitely like not understanding how dash works is a second mistake. So we covered 2 mistakes already and there's a big ones and you will be already a lot more powerful in combat. But let's go to the next 2 mistakes. The first one will look like this. Basically that's a mistake everyone is making. It's not like completely mistake, actually I play like this also and I think it's fun. I'm playing like it's slasher smasher game, but you may become like a lot more powerful and get a lot more damage by knowing combinations. Go to your shrine, into discipline, and onto your weapon. And every weapon skill will have bunch of extra combinations. So, for example, my Crescent Moon skill got double activation from the skill ability left tumbler basically, but then I can continue with R1 button and this will make this combination a lot more powerful. So by knowing this combination, I can do insane amount of extra damage. Not a lot of players actually likes to go into this menu, help menu, and if you watch closely, there is a combo display. Yeah, this combos for all the weapons, so if you're playing like long sword, for example, you can open it and there's bunch of extra combinations. And some of the combinations, as you can see, may use this resource. Basically, you will have upgraded extra strikes. So if you're playing combat and maybe you're spamming random buttons, you will see that you're losing your resource. And that's basically how you can lose it if you're spamming random combinations. But mostly there's combinations with skills, of course. So it basically helps you to understand how to use combinations for each weapon, but these combinations may be deceiving sometime. Again, for example, this shows combination with sword counter and how it looks like, so you know how it should look in the game, but to use this combination you need to unlock it first. And if you're curious how to unlock combinations, basically this guy over here, Impetus Repository, and of course here we are, the skills. So when you unlock the skills, there's two little nodes near the skill, and it will be variant 1 and variant 2. So variant 2, for example, this variant 1 actually, will make enemy expose vulnerability when you deflect. It makes them stunned basically, but variant 2 will give us ability to use counter-attack, and that's exactly the combination. The next one is pretty easy, but don't forget, when enemies standing with their backs exposed, don't hesitate and attack them to the back. Yeah, this will expose them to critical attacks. Most easy way to stun them is by using your heavy attack and also charging it. It will make a lot more damage and also it will stun them a lot quicker. And there's a bunch of secrets how you basically can do it almost every time, almost on every enemy, mostly on humanoids. Because humanoids will have some crazy attack combinations, but also they kinda having stamina. I haven't saw any monsters doing this, but basically sometimes when humanoids slashing like this, they got period when they recharging stamina or doing something stupid like this, like standing on the ground. And these critical attacks is just insanely OP. You will mostly deal increased damage, but also it will stun enemy a little bit more. So if you're running my sword build that I link in the description, so you can check my sword build, you will have basically perma-stun on enemies. It utilizes insanely cool quick charge attacks, and another tip how you can access enemy back is to lock on an enemy and then dash or run, not like to the side. So if you are running to the side, actually when we are close, as you can see, we're not closing the distance, so it's hard to find his back, but diagonally, so forward and to the side. And then we will access his back, basically any enemy like this. Then when it's red, we press a quick attack button and do critical strike. Yeah, that's how it works. Goodbye, my bro. So make sure not to just stand still and hit enemies like their walls, go around and then do your like crazy attacks. Little tip for spears. When you're doing charge attack, heavy attack without charging, it's actually this like backward slash, so it looks like you're evading enemy, but there is a little tip, without lock on enemy, you can start moving backwards. Yeah, so for example, it's me just pressing this button and she starts to spin backwards, but if I start moving backwards, I can do a full combination upon enemy and hit him with my foot. It's pretty cool and fun. It should be pretty obvious by now, but stamina is really important in this game. So the next mistake is of course spamming attacks without ever recovering your stamina. You can do it and you will actually like do damage with them, and you can spam dodges and attacks even when you're low on stamina. That's kind of forgiving mechanic of the game. You can do dodges even on low stamina when you don't have stamina for dodge. You can even attack without stamina, but attacks are a lot slower. There's a window of vulnerability when you're doing it, and basically like basic playstyle that you need to utilize over here is actually something like this. You go in, you do your combination, and then use dashes to get backwards. So dash dash, I'm back, now I'm fine, I'm waiting to generate my stamina, then I'm looking for opportunity. For example, I'm going close, I'm evading attack, doing magic, and that's it. Also, I suggest starting combat actually with running. You already heard about first tip, you can press and run and it's not wasting any stamina at all. You don't need to dash to start running, just hold activation, confirmation button, and when you're running and using basic attacks, there's actually special attack like this, and you can just go back and forth, do the stopping attack, go backwards. It's applicable like to all weapons as different attacks, but this style can be done with every weapon, so you can have loads of fun when you're hitting enemies and they don't. A little bit more general tip. Basically, positioning. Yeah, positioning is super simple, so don't try to go inside all the enemies and you will be caught off guard, you will be micro-stunned and they will delete you. Don't forget the AI, they will always charge and go forward, they will run at you. So try to move, make a space and start fighting them one by one. It's a lot safer, especially if you're not like too perfect in your dodges. Just don't forget to utilize positioning and you will be golden. And distance is also great to land like final hits of your charge attacks and stuff like that. The last one is little but important. Actually, game told me I can do it only when I reached almost Act 2. Basically, you can press button that using your magic or using your consumables and hold it. Yeah, now when you hold it, you can use other buttons to activate any item. You don't need to go through them. So look over here, I can use any of them that is equipped in my equipment menu over here. But same works for magic, so if you got a bunch of different magic equipped, you can just hold this button and use different magic. And this definitely tied into last tip, utilize your equipment in battles. A lot of players actually forgetting how many equipment and stuff you can carry. And I basically defeated one of the bosses with just throwing pots. I got a bunch of them, I threw all of them at this enemy and this boss has fallen. I hope you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch other cool tips and tricks for Wuchang Fallen Clan, don't forget to drop a like and see you in the next ones.